Guys, I'm freaking out a little bit right now. This is an 1808 Bible. I'm looking through the notes, and if you've been on my channel for a while, you probably have seen my very first viral video was about how I believe that 369 connects to creation and the Bible and like Nikola Tesla's free energy and stuff. I finally found the file, so I'm going to show you afterwards, but I have to show you this. I cannot believe it. The book of Genesis endeth in the death of Joseph, containing the history of 2,369 years. And it's blowing my mind because I just keep finding things that are like 369 related the further I go back. It's in like everything. So like the first watch is the 3rd hour of the night. The second watch is the 3rd to the 6th. The third watch is the 6th to the 9th. And then this has the old calendar set up where March is the first month. And Jesus was born in March on the spring equinox is my belief. I did a couple videos on that. So the 3rd month, and then I'm not too sure how the 6th month fits in as of right now. But then we know the 9th month is the Feast of Trumpets month, September. And then the year also ends with March, the first and the last. Jesus is the Alpha and the Omega. Therefore, I conclude that there are 33,269 feet entire and 0.76 decimals of a square foot in an aurora, which is the measurement that they used to measure the base of the tabernacle. 33,269. I never realized, but one of my favorite verses is Psalm 36:9. For with you is the fountain of life, in your light do we see light. I think the firmament, pi, and Nikola Tesla's 369 theory are all connected. This video might blow your mind. So I started looking at pi, and you're basically just measuring a circle. I just stared at this image for a few minutes, and then the Bible verse popped into my head about looking over the circle of the earth. The more I looked at what pi actually is, I found out that you can't really create a dome or an arch in architecture without using pi. So then I started to think, are they measuring the firmament with pi? And then for some reason I kept thinking of Nikola Tesla's 369. So in Kings 7:23 it says, then he made the sea, I think this is the waters above, of cast metal. It was round 10 cubits from brim to brim and 5 cubits high, and a line of 30 cubits measured in circumference. Okay, I'm mind blown. 2 years later, I finally realized, guys, Revelation 4, it describes the northern lights like the throne colors, jasper, carnelian, and the rainbow emerald. Before the throne, there was a sea of glass like crystal. God sits on top of the firmament. Ezekiel says that the firmament is like crystal. So I think in Kings, it's like with everything else. The earthly things are a shadow and a copy of the heavenly things. So I started plugging numbers into pi to see if these work. Stick with me, this is all gonna pull together and it's crazy. 3.33 repeating instead of the 3.14 number. For a circle with a radius of 10 units, when you replace pi with 3.33, it converts to 66.6. So the biblical value of pi as derived from 1 Kings 7:23 and 2 Chronicles 4:2 appears to be an approximation of 3, but some interpretations suggest it might imply a slightly more precise value, such as 3.3 repeating. So it says the verse doesn't account for the basin's thickness. If the measurement of 10 cubits refers to the outer diameter and the circumference of 30 cubits refers to the inner circumference, the true ratio would increase slightly. Keep in mind, this is the quantum computing model, and look at what they call the particles. Qubits, just like in the Bible. And we can energy harvest with piezoelectric, pi. And the hemisphere would come out to 999. Keep in mind, this is what a hemisphere actually is. So then I asked it to create an image of a geodesic dome over a flat earth model utilizing 3.33 repeating as pi. Guys, my mind is shook. It has the sacred hexagons, and hexagons are the most powerful energy producers. And it even put in a hexagon grid completely on its own. And it looks like it took an ancient astrology map and applied it to the bottom. It looks just like this, and this perfectly explains why Polaris is in the middle and the rest of the stars rotate. So then I asked, how might 3, 6, and 9 be relevant in this model? And it says 3 as the central point from which all else radiates. 6 could represent intermediate points or radial lines dividing the Earth into sections similar to a hexagonal layout. 9 could symbolize the outer edge or boundary often associated with the ice wall, making the completion of the structure, which made me think of the black hole sun model that states that all of creation comes from the North Star and the black hole sun like meeting at the North Pole and then projecting all of reality outwards. So on this model, I think the North Pole would be 3, the ice wall would be 9 because that's completion, and then where we live is 6, where creation and completion meet halfway in the middle. 3, 6, 9. So a lot of us know about the ley lines. Ley lines are basically just energy grid lines that people theorize connect us to free energy. Almost all important structures like the Statue of Liberty, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the pyramids, they all fall on like vertices of the ley lines. I think that the energy coming out of the black hole sun is meeting at the vertices on the 369 geodesic dome. I sound nuts, but whatever. And I think that this is somehow creating the ley lines. Remember, Tesla's whole thing was free energy and harnessing electric. I truly do believe that this is the great mystery around 369 and that it's really just the firmament, and that the pie they give us is not true pie. This is when he comes back for his bride. It says, "The voice of my beloved, behold he comes, leaping over the mountains, bounding over the hills. My beloved is like a gazelle or a young stag. There he stands behind our wall, gazing through the windows, looking through the lattice." Do you guys know what it's called when you weave pie crust together on top like this? A lattice. Pie. It's measuring the firmament. This is a lattice. This is a lattice. They're both pie, except one's a pastry. I'm sorry, I don't know if that's coincidental. I don't think it is. I think God is like hilarious. The first person to accurately estimate pi was literally named Archimedes. They're telling us. I don't believe most of these people in history were real. And if they were, there was like fake stuff about them. And think of the word piety. It means religious or holy. Pie. They're saying that the person operates in a way of like being beyond the firmament. Like they're godly, they're complete. Fibonacci spiral, SPI, spiral, pi is in there. Pilots, they are flying across the skies next to the firmament.